think we're good. Actually, this is today. Part 1 of this stream is going to be some WTR Unlim. We have... I can't really pan the camera, but literally, hey Big B, literally 500 boxes in my room that will have to get cracked open. So I thought I'd do a series and make sure I catch any cool moments on stream. We're also very close to 5k subs, so if you're here and you're new, please hit the subscribe button. We'll be doing the Alpha Box giveaway in like very, very soon, 130-ish subscribers time. So WTR Unlim and Crew Unlim today is the plan. You're very new, Bigby. So yeah, there's just gonna be chill streams. No real schedule, just when I have time, I'm gonna jump in. But I'm pretty much gonna try and do it by the sets, like the way I have them. So the WTR, I think I have 6 boxes. Crew, I have 12. And that'll probably be the whole stream tonight, and then we'll do more and more till it's all gone. We have our first super rare, last ditch effort. There's no reason for us buying any of these boxes except for a store wanting to sell all their stock, and we jumped in. I can go through a breakdown of what we have, or you can just simply enjoy and be surprised. Unfortunately, no Arc Unlim, otherwise I'd be opening that. As you know, you might know, it's my favorite. So yep, WTR and then Crew tonight. This is Belgian print WTR, so it's an older product. What year was this? Does this have on it? Is it 2019? No, it wouldn't be. I might read the box. Hey, Dustbin. Yeah, perfect world. We hit a tunic and a heart in the boxes. But I think everything WTR is pretty good. Fall E-Strike's not terrible. But I think the biggest hit is still heart and then tunic. So it's probably one of the only sets where the Fable is still more than the best legendary of the set. That's a nice foil. I'll put in the hit pile. Maybe here. Foil sink belows though. That they, you know, I should have been checking. Let's do that. I should check. I think generic commons start. I think they're in the first. I might just pull some of the good commons out while I go. It'll save me time later. A sink, and I think sigils are rare, but obviously I'll be pulling those out when I see them. I feel like I would have seen a sink, but I'm gonna just triple check and save me going back. Unfortunately, we're not going to keep most of this bulk. We do have a lot of most of the sets bulk. But hit me up if you're Australian and you want bulk. You can definitely come help yourself. Hope everyone's doing well. I haven't caught any of the US Nats streams. I've been out today. Weekends tend to be busy for me. It's a Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m. where I am. But any... You still want the bulk? I don't know if you would be willing to pay to ship the bulk. If you are, we can send you many... Hey, Nuda, don't worry. It's This is only part 1 of the 500 boxes. But we spent multiple tens of thousands getting this stock, and we'll just turn it all into singles. Happy Father's Day. Is it Father's Day in Australia? I don't think it is. That might be an American date or European day. I'm not sure. Foil flick flack. Yeah, if you want me to ship you bulk to Hungary, contact the shop email address. It should be attached to the YouTube channel, and I can get you a shipping quote. You definitely don't have to pay for it. We'll ship the bulk, ship different sets. So the one set we're not going to have is Arc, but also Glint. There you go. Also no Mistveil. Because we picked up their old stock. Ooh. Foil Majestic is always good. This isn't like the best one to hit, but in WTI you can just as likely hit a foil super rare, and it's pretty much one of those per box. So you get what you get. So seeing the Majestic is always good. Alright, last couple of packs of box 1. Last pack. Man, I don't think we hit a single sink. That's all right. Box 2. If you can pay and judge boosters, yeah, probably. I don't see why not. Caleb, good night, my friend. There's a blue sink, doesn't help us at all. Take the red pummel out. Foil Mugenshi. Feels there's a sigil. Hey, another super rare foil in the same box, and it's very early in the box still. Trying to think, I think the best case I ever opened WTR had 4 E-strikes total, and a harder find. I remember that was like definitely the best case I've ever opened. When you say greater costs, are you talking in general, like the cost of building a deck, or because white border red sink belows are pretty cheap. We have a whole bunch of there's 2 sink belows in a row. We have a whole bunch of history pack to open. Yeah, I don't think sink below is expensive. I mean, it crept up to like 20 bucks at one point, but I don't think it is anymore. I think so. Here's ooh, scabbies. I think LSS has done a good job at printing better stuff. So I feel like Sink Below used to be in nearly every deck, and that's no longer the case. Tunic used to be in nearly every deck. That's no longer the case. I think it's doing okay. Maybe the only real like problem area might still be Command and Conquer. Yeah, I assume that's why I'm talking about it anyway. I think Command and Conquer is maybe like still a problem area, but there's plenty of decks you can build that don't run CNC. I think Zen right now would be a good example of that. I don't think Zen runs CNC. Some of the best decks in the game have not run it, actually. But I hear you. Thing is, if I was a new player or a friend of mine was and was asking advice, I would tell them to jump on February, look up deck lists they're interested in playing, and then actually look at the pricing on February before. So you can just put in, like, I think it by default is TCG player on there, and then you can check. Because there's still CC decks that are fairly, when I say affordable, they're half the price of the more expensive decks. But here's the thing, Otaku, I think this is like something I've learned, but most TCG players figured this out a long time ago. If the you can do that, yeah, but the way to think of it is, if everything, like if a deck was worth $5, I think no one would really play the game because your cards would be worthless. It's like playing Monopoly or something. If decks were $10,000, you'd have maybe 1/10 of the player population playing the game. I think where, thanks Riddler, I think where the game is now is it's not that expensive. Like, I think you need about 500 US for a decent deck, but that's not money you're spending like on a PlayStation where you're not going to recoup it. I think you can play that deck and then sell some cards and reinvest. But I don't think TCGs are supposed to have, you know, decks that are much cheaper than that. I think it's like a good point where you do have to invest in the game, but it's not like out of reach. But to be fair, if you're a new player and you can't afford a Flesh and Blood deck, you really shouldn't be playing TCGs. Like, it's just a luxury. It's a game. Plenty of other, I mean, you play League of Legends for free on your Chromebook, and it's plenty of fun for free. Another tome, but just an example. Obviously, it's 4,000. Yeah, I did see Rudy talk about. All right, so I've got 4 more. I'll show you guys, actually. Look at the state of this thing. This has been in storage. Belgium display of WTR Unlim. So this is a sealed case. So 2 loose boxes. We did okay, I think. But let's see what we get in this case. Hopefully a heart and a tunic. That's the dream. So again, tonight's stream is 4 more boxes of WTR, and then we'll switch to Crew for 12 boxes, and that'll be it. Because I do want to open and then sort and list stock and then open more. But don't worry, we'll be streaming a lot. I've got Monarch First Ed. A ton of it. Dust Till Dawn, Bright Lights, Heavy Hitters, Outsiders, History Pack, Everfest. Lots coming. That's the same super rare in the same pack as the last box, by the way. When I do Bright, no idea. I'm just going to do them as I feel like doing them. But Bright Lights is on the list. The one product we're not opening anytime soon is Tales of Aria. And actually Monarch. We're kind of waiting till, you know, those sets have a hero that can play the cards in them first. That's the plan. Yes, I'll be at Nats. We'll have a stall. I'll also be streaming it. Foil blue sink below, not what you want. But I think Bright Lights and Dusk Till Dawn, we are, as the shop, like, we are missing a lot of stock from that. Because we never opened a lot of it. Well, I mean, we did, but we sort of did one wave and... I didn't watch the Nats, no. I saw the meta breakdown. I think it was to be expected. What decks day 2'd for CC, that is? Look at that. Imagine a draft pack with unmovable and pummel in it. Yuck. You would take down movable, by the way. But that's just me. Foil razor. Might keep that out, actually. Red pummel. Yeah, I didn't actually watch the stream for Nats. I've just seen some screenshots here and there. Did I... Hey, red sink below. It's pretty much, if every pack had a sink below, I'd be happy. It's not money, it's just, it's a card that no single store for Flesh and Blood can hold on to. Like, if you list 100 red sinks, they sell. For two reasons. One is, it's obviously a very good card. Second, I think people end up just having different playsets for their decks rather than pull them in and out. Like, is this just not expensive enough? Command and Conquer, a lot of people just own 3. But sinks you can sort of have 12 and put them in your different decks, depending on what kind of decks you play. Alright. Hey, foil. Actually, that's a nice pack. Alpha Rampage and a foil sand sketched. Brute pack. It feels weird opening an unlim product of any kind, knowing there's 0 cold foils. So the EV, the hit, like what you can possibly make in an unlim box, is so heavy onto the Majestics. To open, I would say, I think Uprising and Mistveil are like very close, very good. Maybe Mistveil is a little better, but maybe that's because it's newer as well. But my favorite is Arcane Rising. I don't know why. I don't play any of those heroes, but like opening it. I've always been lucky with eye pulls for some reason in Unlim, so Red Snatch is nice too. Alright, box 1, nothing flash. The best hits so far: Steelblade, Supremacy Foil, and Scabbies. Lord of Wind, Rainbow Foil, first pack. Nice. Like I said before, any foil Majestic is, even when they're not very expensive, it's just very hard to hit when you're just open. No, Ross, we haven't hit it yet. We're at 4.87 out of 5. So when we hit 5K, we'll be doing the giveaway. It's not far. If I'm streaming as often as I'm planning to, it'll happen pretty quickly, I imagine. A week or two. But I'm not trying to rush it. It'll happen when it happens. Excited though, because it's been 3 years. So guys, if you haven't subscribed, please do. Help us get to the 5K mark and give the box away. Also let your friends know. And there's a video that you have to go comment on to get in the running to win the Alpha box. Very easy to find. So if you haven't commented, I'd go do that at some point before the giveaway. I think we're 700, nearly 800 entries or comments. So the odds aren't terrible. Even maybe your non-fab friends who have any interest in TCGs. Maybe if they win an Alpha box, they'll start playing. Maybe if they win if we open a, Blood Rush Bellows. Maybe if they win a heart or a tunic and sell it, they'll have enough money for an expensive fab deck. You can buy a few Flesh and Blood decks if you hit a Cold Fall tunic, let me tell you. That's in the wrong pile. Any other Majestics? No. Super Rare's a funny thing. I'm glad they got rid of it. Although some cards feel like maybe not having the Majestic text on them would be nice. But Super Rares are basically cheap Majestics. None of them are really worth much money. But we have Majestics like that now that are just feel weak or don't see a lot of play. Foil Bonehead Barrier. Does any deck actually play this card? I think Arc is good too, because the common equipment, which in most sets is unplayable, is always good to see, even in Rainbow Foil. Like Null Rune Rainbow Foil, again, not an expensive set to buy, but is very liquid. It sells. People will spend a couple of dollars to have a foil, especially gloves and boots. I think gloves is still the most played one. That'd be interesting to see if they supersede that, because a lot of heroes don't have armor with AB, but some heroes have a lot of armor with AB, and if they do a full arcane set, I'd like to see that they put in a couple of AB2 pieces for the heroes missing them. Like Brute happens to have them, but Warrior doesn't, and it helps. Like, ooh, Tectonic Plating. Second legendary. Not bad. Still have 2 boxes and 3 packs to go. Oops. Some commons away before they topple. Next set, Full Arcane or Tails 2.0? I don't think there is a Tails 2.0. I think that might happen. But this new teaser, they haven't really announced it yet, have they? It's probably the last day announced. I think it could be for the first strike deck. And for all we know, it could just be a one hero. Like, first strike will be a hero. I think it'll be a new hero. It'd be great if it's like an elemental one, but I don't know. Usually they announce the new sets at the Pro Tour, which is in July in Amsterdam. So, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, what they usually do and what they end up doing can always be very different with LSS. So, we'll all find out soon and together. But the way even the art style for that teaser video they did had a, I don't know why, but to me it seemed like a standalone product, because it's like literally looks like Crown of Seeds alt art if you look at it. Someone told me they thought it was maybe Findle. Yeah, foil Bloodrush Bellows is probably one of the best hits you can get in WTR Unlim. I think they should do Elemental, yeah. I think it's maybe time. Also, I was talking to my friends about like what heroes are missing right now from the meta or don't. Either they've LL'd or there's not a lot of support, and I think maybe it's Runeblade Wizard. Yes, Service, this is WTR Unlim, correct. Belgian print. Man, that's like 3 blood rushes in a row. 1 foil and then... yeah, I keep putting Majestics in the wrong pile, but... It'd be great if it's a new set announcement early. I feel like it's just... I don't understand why they would announce a set this early. Because... Mistveil is the current meta. You know? Gotta let things simmer, but we'll see. Hey, foil snatch. I don't think ice needs balancing. I don't think even Frostbite is such a bad mechanic. I think the heroes they had, I don't think they were tested very well. Remember, those heroes came out like at a time in meta where, hey, another Scabbies. It's very, very good. We're on 3 legendaries in 5 boxes. New icon, hey, German, yes, you're a Fable now. Yeah, I think as long as they make ice heroes that can't just vomit out frostbites. So I think Oldham's access to frostbites was extremely fine. I would say balanced. It was Crown of Seeds that really felt broken. And Lexi was maybe too much because of the on-hits and how much go-against she had. But if Lexi was playing like Azalea, where Azalea on-hit is like, you know, here's a Blood Rot, and then, you know, she's doing on-hit 1 Frostbite, that's fine. And Icelander was just a bit too much. I think Icelander just caused too many decks to be actually unplayable. I don't know if you guys saw the rares in that pack, but the rares in that pack were these 2. And yeah, Lexi was absolutely terrible for a while. So all I'm saying is I don't think they need to like do much to make ice playable or balanced. They just got to make sure the heroes can't abuse the mechanic, which should be fine. Also, the current power level maybe is already surpass that. Like I don't know if I don't know if Lexi would be that good in the like versus KO or Kasai or Zen right now. No, I don't think they announced it yet, German. We're just spitballing. I have a feeling the announcement will be at the end, like the last day of Nats. Maybe. Is it streaming now? No, it should be over, right? Is day one would be over, or day 2? I don't even know. I wasn't following. I think day 1 is over because I saw someone was 7-0, so I imagine that's. All right, last box of WTR. Wish me luck. Heart and tunic, right? That's what we're gonna get this box. Crippling Crush is nice. So if you're just joining, we're doing 12 boxes of Crew Unlim next. It's a nice hit. Rainbow Foil Goliath Gauntlet is a card that sells, believe it or not. 7 hours, okay. We have a little CC tournament tomorrow locally, so when I finish streaming, I gotta sleeve up my deck for that. So 3 legendaries in, well, it's going to be 6 boxes when we're done, is already very good. Here we go. It's a nothing source Bonehead Barrier Foil. I know why that exists. Sand sketched. Yeah, WTR is fun. I thought I'd sort of start with some of these older ones, but also, like, I'm just opening what we have, and I have exactly this many boxes, which felt like a single stream length, so I'll do it. So, like, we have some of these sets is too many boxes to open in one sitting. Thanks, NXI. I think Dev and I have always versed each other, Armory or tournament, which kind of sucks. Yeah, German, farewell to WTR was very fun. Another Bonehead. So we ordered a bunch of Japanese language MST. I'm not getting a straight answer whether it was shipped or not and when it was shipped, so I'm just hoping that it's gonna come. It's not that we got ripped off. I think the person's like busy and different events, and I don't think they put tracking. I don't even know what address it was sent to, so I'm just waiting. I'm hoping any day now I get a notification that I've got them. It's only, I believe, 10 cases. So, yeah, it'll just be a fun stream. That was the idea to begin with, was just to have fun. So yeah, hoping it arrives. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why it won't. Well, I say just because like 40 boxes is probably not enough to get, you know, all the big hits in that set. Another sink. Time snap foil. And the foil potions have always actually been quite valuable. They're not very common. I mean, they're a rare. Also, this is the last pack, so wish me luck. No, nothing. I think we did okay. I'll show you guys. 3 L's, foil Blood Rush, foil Lord of Wind, and foil Supremacy, with a bunch of random stuff in the back. What are my thoughts on heavy Japanese language? Well, it's great. It's great for the it's great for the locals. Hopefully, it's just a very short print run, obviously, but it doesn't matter. It's great. Also, those heroes are playable straight away, you know. So, if you're Japanese, forget even what language the cards are in. Just having access to the stock would be great. And I imagine some of those Marvel heroes will be worth a fortune because they don't exist yet. All right, let's. Just gonna make sure I put stuff away in an orderly fashion. Otherwise, my room's gonna get impossible to work with. I need a makeshift divider. Alright. Let's do... So I have 4 loose boxes of crew and then 2 sealed cases, so... I'm just gonna turn the fan on actually, one second. These are the pull tab boxes. If you're new, you're in for a treat. This was like a one-time only deal where, see, there's a little tab to pull to open these. Really weird. I think this was the first printed in Japan set. I think this was where they started. Hey, look, money. Snag has just gone nuts out of the blue. I don't know how much play it's even gonna see. I think people are putting it in for the new matchup, but I don't know if there's enough new players in the world for that to matter. I think it's just the last 3, yeah. Pummel and rouse, fair enough. I mean, it works on a lot. But, you know, you got to have it for it to work, obviously. I don't know. I think it wasn't in the meta for a reason. Like, there's been plenty of decks that could play it. And plenty of decks that would suffer to it. But I think it's just a weird card to have. Well, there's a lot of other more consistent picks, I guess. But we'll see. I'm no expert. Saber foil is actually nice. 5th most repped. I'm trying to think of what other decks would be playing a lot of reactions, you know? Does Victor even play Pummel? Actually, recently restocked the shop with a lot of Crew First Ed foils. Look at that, spoils foils, nice. So if you want any Crew First Ed foils, yeah, Michael, they are to restock the shop. I mean, we're always down for a good deal. We would normally never do this. Like, these sets have very, very, very bad EV. Oh yeah. Never mind. These boxes have amazing EV. I'm lying, clearly. Shard is a massive hit, guys. Like, this is a rare as fuck card. Not super played, I know, but it's very hard to get one. I sent you that card, yeah. I should have sent that pack out with an order. Someone would have been happy. Anyway, I saw the Fable order, the border too. What was I saying? EV is bad, yeah. I can't even say that anymore. Blaze Firemine. No, we don't have access to that yet. I think, isn't it a skirmish promo? Because that's like a UK thing right now. You can only get in the UK. Anyway, what was I saying? Bad EV. Yes, this is a bad EV product to open. So we had a shop locally that had a lot of stock and wanted to clear up for other stuff and isn't really going to be hosting Flesh and Blood events anymore. So we yeah, how, like, this box isn't even over. Let's do a box review at the end, because Shard, Spoils, Snag in one box. Foil Centauri is probably still a couple of dollars too. Insane box so far. But yeah, so this shop wanted out, and we made them an offer, and they accepted. So we ended up with all their stock basically. We have an insane amount of Tales of Aria first ed, so you can imagine we weren't willing to pay retail or anything. But we do, like, Tales does have good cards in it. And obviously the second there's a ice deck again, Channel Lake is playable. All of the ice, earth and lightning cards in the game are in that set right now, more or less. So yeah, but we would normally not do this. Normally we wouldn't spend this much money on sealed product. It's not viable as a business, because you're taking risk. While we can buy most of these cards by buying people's collections, which is what we normally do. But this also helps the channel get some content up. Hopefully you guys get entertained. It's always fun hitting crazy stuff, and you can only do that by opening boxes. There's no RNG. So we got one foil M, 6 non-foil M's, but again, very good ones. Like Snag, Spoils are very good. I think even Mangle and Righteous Cleansing do see play on occasion, but that makes it a crazy box, obviously. Let's see if we can get another Shard, though. That's what I want. This was box 1. Barely even started. Also, loose box. 4 of these are loose, so Shiana's a really feels bad hit. To be fair, that's why this set is so trash. Both the legendaries feel very bad. Shiana's worthless as a legendary goes. Very low EV. Great hero, very fun to play, and obviously a hero that slowly gets power creep by default and different ways to play it. But yeah, if you hit a Tunic or a Shiana, you're not that happy. The money's in the Fable. And there's only, this set does only have 2 legendaries, and one of them is a reprint. So it's really only 1 legendary and a Fable. So ideally you hit the Shard, which we did, which is incredibly lucky and good for the EV of the opening. But I'm sure there's more waiting. Double Shard would be a dream. But yeah, Crew, Everfest, Dust Till Dawn, and Dynasty. they're kind of look at that foil massacre. They're cool sets, but they're very like dependent on what's going on in the game at any given time. So crew has support for the first 8 heroes of the game. So when those heroes, like when Dash was performing well, crew EV was up because there's a bunch of cards. I'm trying to think of exactly which ones. I know the Dorinthia cards more, but yeah, it's like building blocks for heroes. The Shard is actually one of the most confusing cards in the game because it's a specialization for a hero. It is very good, but because it's a specialization, it only sees limited play, but it's really held its value because it's so short printed. Not because it's a Fable, because I think just in general, there's not that many crew boxes in existence. And no one wants to play with a cold foil Shard. It's still thousands of dollars, so if you play Viz or Shiana, you're going to want a Shard. Hopefully, though, the fact that it says Viserai Specialization means there will always be a Viserai in the game. That's what you hope. So this is a second foil Majestic in this box. I think actually you usually get 2 in crew, so it's 8 Majestics, 2 a foil. I think we only got 1 in the first box because the Shard takes up that slot. Hey, Kodachi foil. Look at that. That's 1 pack. That's a nasty pack. Foil Kodachi's okay, but then Cokes and a cash in. Not bad. Reinforced foil is nice. These are selling now, since there's a new way to create them. Foil Zen token. Not for a lot, it's just they're actually moving where they used to not move. So if you are a Viserai player, there's like 30 foil Rune Chants first ed on the shop, waiting for you. Is this correct? That's not correct. Does he? I don't know. I think Dory has a lot. I don't know who has the most. But yes, Viz does have a bunch. Triptych is good. What is this? Box 3 out of 12. Rattlebones foil is nice. Definitely gets played. Thorns. Remorseless is good. See a bunch of those in the meta currently with Azalea. Trying to think of what the best value cards are in crew. I think Beast Within still does pretty well on a values perspective. I'm trying to think of the equipment. I don't think any of them are... They used to be the go-to equipment for their classes, but I think that's changed. What else do you have in this set? Is it Morvaran Skies? foils is good, but I don't think it's very high. Maybe last set it was because of Kasai playing it. Yeah, I can't remember. But if I see them, I'll know. I'm just trying to remember values off the top of my head. But also which cards are actually crew specific. Hey Kyla, I'm good. Hey, another saber. Yeah, Morph Skies is value, but it's only a rare. I'm trying to think of the top Majestics in the set. Alright. Tide. Foil Edge of Autumn. Strange card to print. And, ooh, I missed the foil. It's a good one too. Gambler's Gloves foil. That's great, actually. Not a bad one to hit at all. Alright, box number 4. Courage. Definitely a card that's fallen off since they printed Grains. Much prefer Grains. Although there's still a world where Courage will be better, I think in a combo type warrior deck, which just isn't the way warriors played at the moment. Also in Blitz, I think you might still lean into Courage, so you can pop off when you need to, while Grains is more value but slower. For a Season 2 Judge, but I think so, yeah. Gaze is actually an amazing Majestic, power level wise. Still extremely vital in the Kano deck. What are the sets, Michael? Today just the WTR and Crew. The next stream might just be Everfest. I have a bunch of that. But to be honest, I'm going to do it in the order to clear out my room and whatever singles we need more. Sleep Dart. Hey, Visitronic. These Rainbow Foil equipment are actually quite nice to have. There's not that many in circulation, and a lot of them are still played, especially for the Arcane Barrier. So Visitronic and whatever the Brute one is. I love this. Cracked Bauble foil. Is the only way to get a foil Bauble is in Crew. Don't ask me why they did it. I wish they'd done it in cold foil in the original, in the first ed. Skullhorn. Yeah, Skullhorn is also pretty much in every Brute sideboard in existence. There's a Beast Within. We want to try and get these in foil there. Also very good sellers. And again, like Beast Within is probably a card that's never going to leave... Whoops. It's never going to leave the Brute deck. I think it's there forever. Which will mean crew and, by extension, history pack, although that's a whole nother story, but it'll always have value. Because it's just the amount of Majestics. I think Everfest has the biggest spread of Majestics that you just need. Whirling Mist Blossom. Another Rune Chant. One of the more useless cards. I don't even know why it's not played, but I've never seen it in a deck. Death Dealer foil. It's kind of cool knowing that when you hit those, there would have been cold foil. So, like, if this was a first ed opening, we'd be doing exceptionally well. Some of those rare weapons are still worth a bunch of money. Actually, although I don't think you can, I think they were the buy a box promo, so maybe did they? I'm trying to think now. No, you did get them cold foil in this. Maybe some were, some weren't. I'm actually not sure. Because I know Nebula Blade's an Armory promo, not a... Or am I just wrong? I don't know. Gorganian Tome is short printed because it's legendary text. So they're actually quite rare. Yes, it used to be the third legendary of the set. When there was a whole lot of hype with the game. Like in the Monarch days, it used to be quite an expensive card. Also, there used to be more Rune Blades in the game. And they all played Gorganian. Because it just turned on your Rune Blade abilities and didn't cost you a card. But I actually expected Kasai to play it, but I don't think Kasai does. I don't think Kasai cares too much about the free sword swings. Although, maybe someone out there does play Gorganian and Kasai. Whew. Foil snag. First hit of that box. So this is 4 boxes from a sealed case, and then the last 4 will also be from a case. Brutal Assault. Other ninja cards, just not great. The Ninja Majestics in Crew. Seeing them now, I know they're not very played, so... Salt the Wound foil. I think Snag spiked somewhat artificially, like I think Nu got announced and her reactions got shown, and then... I think a few people just tried to buy them because they were like, whatever, they were 99-cent Majestics. So I don't think like it mattered too much because it drove the price up by double or triple, but it was never high to begin with. Foil Twinning Blade. Oh yeah? Breeze Rider boots. Yeah, I guess that works because, yeah, you definitely see it played a lot. That's for sure. Is it because of the block value primarily, though? Right. I still feel like so I also, here's like my theory about Snag. I think a chunk of the player base doesn't know it exists, right? Like, there's a lot of cards. No, you can't get the alt art in Unlimited. Yeah, I think it's one of those cards that maybe a lot of new players didn't know existed, saw it, and went, wait, this is a generic. I should probably just own 3. And then because they spiked, people actually went and bought them thinking maybe they'll keep going up. Not like to resell, but more as a staple of like one of those hedge bets. Like, you know what? If they keep printing heroes with reactions, I want to have a playset of these. I still don't see... I still don't see it being a super... Anyway, I don't think it's going to be played a lot. I think also because it doesn't work against... it doesn't work on reactions into weapons. Like, you can't use it against Dorinthia. Yeah, I don't think it's... I think it's like a whole bunch of new players see this card and go, wait, that seems like it could be good. And it possibly could be. It's like Chains of Eminence. Is it Chains of Eminence? Or is that the Arcane Barrier one? Whatever card... maybe it's an Arc that you can name a card and can't be played, pitched, or blocked with. Like, that started to see some play. But I don't think a lot of people know it exists. It is Chains. Yeah, the other one is Irina's Prayer, I think. The AB one. Here's a funny one for you guys. Who here knows what Veiled Intentions does? Because in my opinion, it's one of the coolest illusionist cards to ever be printed. I used to play it in my Dromai deck. But I bet you most of you don't know what that card does. A friend of mine helped me build a deck with it, and it's a sick card in when you combine it with... It's a nice hit, Aetherized Foil, although still not seen play. Another one that every wizard probably has 3 lying around. Yeah. Veiled Intentions mixed with Phantasmal Footsteps is kind of nutty. Because it basically... What is it, a plus... What is it? +4? So it's cost 1, +4 to your next attack action, and it gives it Phantasm. So if it already has Phantasm, it doesn't matter. But, see, I used to do it on Command and Conquer. So you could Command and Conquer for 10, but then the text reads, if it gets popped by Phantasm, draw a card. Which, if you have Phantasmal Footsteps, you draw a card to pitch into Footsteps. So there, you can technically, if you draw blue, go Command and Conquer for 10, they pop it, and you go Command and Conquer again. It's it really depends what you've arsenaled. But the real benefit is that when they pop it, you draw a whole card, and you can pitch into Footsteps to get your action point back anyway. Anyway, it had some cool play patterns in Blitz specifically when you're trying to kill people quickly. It was very cool. But yeah, that's like a... I don't know. An extremely cheap card that has... I think it's very playable, just maybe not currently. Foil Kodachi. Michael, look, I'm not trying to say it is or isn't, but maybe that in blue. I think it's still +2 as a blue. Because again, if you give it, if it goes into a Phantasm attack already, it doesn't matter. It just means you draw a card if they pop it. Used to be really good on Dromai because you could like go what are they called? Centipie and Embermore. Because if they got popped, they created an Ash, so you could Veiled Intentions that, and remember you're playing a red, so you would go again on your dragons anyway. And then Embermore, right? You foil Perch Grapplers. Embermore for 12. If they pop it, you make an Ash and draw a card, which you can then pitch into Footsteps, sometimes just making you an extra Ash, but sometimes you just get to Centipede them or Embermore again because you drew an attack and you already had a blue, for instance. Like, there's a lot of play patterns. It was very fun. Enigma, I think you could do the same, but obviously... Well, Enigma's good because she plays instants anyway, so you can play a card like that without Footsteps and still potentially draw into an aura that you can play at instant speed. Oh, let me get rid of these first. What I want to build is a Pummel Enigma, but no one will help. I haven't worked out how to make that deck. But I feel like a deck that's running 40 blues surely should be running blue Pummels at least. But I don't think you're running enough 2-cost attacks. But you possibly could. Rainbow Pummel Enigma. I just don't know if it's good. Like, I'm sure it's buildable. I just don't know if it's enough. Especially if everyone's running around with snags, you know? Sam. I'm doing great. How do you have time to be on here? That's what I want to know. How is your theatre production? Is it still going? Pummel your weapons? I don't think you can pummel your weapons. You can pummel the 2-cost ones, right? Is that what you're saying? 2 more days. I saw you offered James White some behind-the-scenes footage. I'd love to watch if any of it's filmed. So Taku, can you pummel your 2-cost auras? Because I might. And would they discard a card? Yeah, I don't think you can pummel your weapons, right? Runeblood Barrier foil's nice. Hey, I hope you're well, man. Guys, if you don't know, Sam is 1/3 of 3 floating. He's currently in a... Is it a Broadway production? Yeah, Taku, your attacks aren't clubs. But anyway, I don't think it works. Hammers, clubs, and 2-cost attacks. My question is, because your blue aura counts as a blue attack, does your blue 2-cost aura or any 2-cost aura count as a 2-cost attack? Any judges that can help? It's regional. Look, Sam, I've been telling everyone it's Broadway, so... But yeah, guys, he's in a play. Seems really cool. He looks very dashing. But if you're not subscribed to 3 Floating, I don't know what you're doing here. You should click off immediately and subscribe to 3 Floating. Ah, yes, it's an attack action, isn't it? Yeah, you're right. It wouldn't matter, correct, because they're not attack actions. There you go. Well, that's fine, because I think you can swap out some of your 2-cost auras for some 2-cost attacks quite easily. And because you're running Tunic, you should see pummel opportunities fairly often. But I just don't know if it's good, like I said. But you can run an Enigma Chimera, which is a 2 for 8. and I'll tell you now, if you go 2 for 8 and then pummel it, do that into Zen, they'll lose 10 life and a card. It's very, very good. You can make the game very one-sided. Also pummeling, obviously C and C, but cards like Amnesia, Censor, Erase Face, depending on your opponent. I used to run Erase Face, Pummel in Dory, into Dash, and that paid dividends because they couldn't boost. So I would essentially give myself a free turn because they literally couldn't function. I don't think Erase Face is strong in the current meta. But maybe Censor or... No problem, Otaku. Take care. Yeah, I don't know what the best generic outside of Command and Conquer is in the meta currently. Maybe it's Censor. Censor or Amnesia, maybe. Blue Pummel is great in Dory. It does work. Wouldn't recommend it, but it works. But I feel like Blue Pummel in Enigma surely... Amnesia, yeah, so Pummel Amnesia maybe in Enigma would be a cool addition to Command and Conquer. Take out like a set of the 2-cost auras and just pummel some people. I mean, what's the worst that happens? You lose a couple of friends, right? Yeah, Weakest Link is good. There's also like, what's that card? Like, there's a couple of cool targets, right? One is that generic from, is it Outsiders? Where if they have 4 cards in hand, they lose one or whatever. Like there's anything you can pummel that will already mess with your opponent's plans for the next turn is worth considering. Cut to size, right? Because yeah, there's a bunch of it's also very unexpected. I want to try and pronounce your name, Balint. Thanks for chatting, dude. Have fun at the armory. Yeah, I think there's a bunch of these generic 2-cost attacks. I think maybe Amnesia's better because it blocks 3. I think that's the one that blocks 3, so maybe that's the one to go with, especially into a deck like Zen. But heck, if you want to go real cheap and nasty, Cadaverous Contraband Pummel. They lose a card, you gain a card in your deck. But I'll tell you my favorite. Actually, I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to show you because I'm still building my deck, right? This is my... these are my Enigma considerations. This is a nasty pummel target for Enigma. Anyway, I never showed you. Don't blame me if that becomes meta. It's one way to lose friends. Is play that card. Not really. You won't lose friends, but it's very good. I think we used to play that in Dromai. Just target a dragon at the end of the turn in the Dromai mirror. But yeah, pummeling a pursuit. Poof. Sam, do you want to make... Imagine it ends up on 3 floating. Sam is just pummeling Pursuit of Knowledges to win. Guardian's not dead. Michael, look, I'm not a deck builder. These ideas are mostly not mine. I just hear them from other people that are much smarter than me. But Pursuit of Knowledge is always been a good card. Ah, nice. Yeah, for the daggers, I mean, that go again. The fact that it's a 4 is already great. That's kind of the... I think Pursuit of Knowledge is like always on the fringe and never in any deck, but it's always possibly a good blue to throw in there. In nearly any deck. It's a foil. I used to run it on Dory. Because again, it's just a functional blue. Ah, look, if it blocked 3, it would be in every single deck. So I'm kind of happy it's not a block 3. But I think it still fits. This is like one of the worst Majestics ever printed, unfortunately. Hayden Dale himself tried to convince me this was a good card once. Lucky, Hayden's very unlikely to be watching this. I can say whatever I want. Alright, that was the first case. I don't think it's unplayable. I think Dory just doesn't have access to enough opt. Because, like, if you do the maths on the card, it's extremely good if you hit. It should be in every Dory deck, except you can't guarantee you'll hit. And you can't build a Dory deck with pure reactions, so that would hit all the time. Like the way KO's designed now, where 6 is nearly guaranteed. So I play in my Dory deck. So I used to play Sharp Eye, the helmet with Eye of Ophidia. That's a great combo with Stroke of Foresight, for instance. So this with Stroke of Foresight does work quite well because you can put the card you want on the top with Stroke. But yeah, it's... Also, if this was a 1 cost, it would be absolutely insane. Because it would be 1 for 3 with extra text, like, which would be normal Dorinthia maths. Anyway, we're talking about a world that doesn't exist. That card's nearly unplayable. If they ever make a warrior that does opt, that would be in that deck. The other problem is it says reprise, and... Ooh, we hit it. The 3rd legendary of Crucible of War. A Rainbow Foil Gorganian Tome. Sam, are you at Nats? I'm assuming, or you're working. That's why you're on here. The question is, did you qualify for Nats? Are your other 2 less attractive friends at Nats, or they're busy too? Okay, fair. I haven't played in a while. I've got a... They've called it a battle softened. Softened. Oh, you were invited? Of course you were. Hey, look, you gotta eat. I don't know how much casting Flesh and Blood pays yet, but I can imagine you can't rely on it for all your bills, so don't feel bad. Yeah, I haven't played, but we have a battle softened tomorrow, so I'll go play CC, and then I'm vending all the big events, unfortunately. When I say unfortunately, it's great. It's just I won't be playing. But I have got an Enigma deck ready to go. Alright, we are 4 boxes away. This is box 4. From the end of the stream, hopefully another shard would be nice. We haven't seen another legendary, but Crew is weird where it's definitely not 1 legendary per case, like not even close. I think it's like 2.5 cases. So the fact that we hit a shard is amazing, but the chances of a legendary are low. Battle softened. Hopefully, Farron, yeah. Here I am talking about my secret deck tech on my stream, and you're writing it down, are you? I kid. I don't think we play often anyway. You and I don't get paired. Farron is our local community builder. He is always on everyone's case to get to events, which is nice because no one else is doing it. So keep it up, bro. I see you. I don't say it, but I see you. Yeah. It's been a while. See, Sam, the thing is, when people don't see you play often, you can always beat them. That's what you got to think, is like they're not there, they're not learning how you play, what your decisions are like. Thanks, NXI. I think if people don't play you all the time, you have some element of surprise. While playing someone you play all the time is can be detrimental. But you can get in your own head, I think, sometimes, especially if they're usually better than you. Like the first time I played Brody Spurlock, I beat him. I had no idea who he was. It was great. Never beat him again. But that one time, when he was just a kid with goggles on, no mercy. But to be fair, I don't think he'd played against Dorinthia much at all. Which, as you know, if you haven't, you're not going to do well in that matchup. What's the next big event for you? You come into Worlds or going to try? Actually, who here is going to Worlds? In, what, late October? Yeah, nice. So I'm already booked for that. That's going to be a big one. The Tampa premiere? Nice. What's the Tampa premiere? Is it the new set, you mean? Like before Worlds? Okay. Yeah, I managed to get extremely cheap tickets to Osaka too. I'm trying to do the maths for you Americans, but I paid 800 Australian return, so 550 US return. So yeah, I wasn't gonna miss Worlds for that price, that's for sure. Yeah, I know. It's very cheap. So when we saw those tickets, we were like already planning to go, but when I saw them, Dev and I immediately booked. Like, we're not going to not pay that amount to go to a world championship, that's for sure. So I have a feeling it may end up turning into one of the biggest events ever for Flesh and Blood. I think Japan will be cooking by then. They would have had time. A lot more new players. I mean, we were watching at Tokyo Calling the amount of new players at the Learn to Play booth. Like, we've never seen that many players in any Western country. So there's a chance you're talking about one of the biggest tournaments to date. Righteous Cleansing foil. I should, whoops. All right, 2 more to go. And you guys should see the state of my room. Mind you, my cheap flights are with the crappy airline. So, source Japanese heavy hitters. I mean, yeah. Message me privately, Farron, and I'll put you in touch with the Japanese stores that I know. I mean, if you just want them for Worlds, you can probably do that. You pay now and pick them up then. Or if you want them shipped, I would definitely. I don't know if Xavier's in the chat, but if he is, you can find him. Xavier's a New Zealand guy who lives in Japan, in Osaka actually, so he can help. I want to look into that. You reminded me. I want to look into which Japanese stores have good websites that you can translate to English and then ship here. You should try Tokyo Fab. I know they have a lot of stock. I just don't know if they ship. And we haven't had anything good in a minute. But that's what crew is like, unfortunately. You're not hitting legendaries, so it's just majestics. Yeah, try Tokyo Fab. I know they have a big inventory. It's just whether the site will translate and whether you can ask them to ship here as an option. But actually, I noticed a bunch of Japanese vendors on the Oceanic page, Farron. So maybe putting up a wanna buy post will get you a PM or two. You can always try. I don't think we'll be getting any for the shop. So I don't see us getting the singles. Trying to zip through this because there's like not many things that are exciting to hit. I mean, a Tunic or Shiana would be great, but we really just want another shard. And how many lunging press reprints have we had? Just the one though, right? Crew and... oh no, it's in the Ira decks. They should do an alt art cold foil lunging press. That's what I want. Does it say target attack gets or target attack action? Ah, attack action. Terrible. Another foil spoils is great. Judge pack promo? Yeah. Be a good one. I don't think they're ever going to do the Art of War level reprint. But things like that are cool, where it's just a generic that you can play. That's not game breaking or anything. Doesn't have a lot of value. I like the new Flick Flacks. To be fair, if I was James White, I already have the right initials. My initials are JW, but anyway, that's another story. If I was James White, all of these high-end promos would just be alt art heroes. Because I think that's where you hurt the least amount of people and please the most amount of people. Like if you could get yourself... there were 4 different versions of every hero and you could only get certain ones from certain sources, I think people would be like, because you get those diehards, like you get like Levia diehards, you know, they could have a different hero card for each style of deck they're playing with that hero, you know. So I played Dorinthia. I refused to make a Hatchet's Dory. But maybe if you gave me an alt art Dory hero, had the same text but was holding axes in the card, maybe I'd be more inclined. Maybe. But I feel like you can do a lot of with alternate art heroes. Like Enigma's a great example. But imagine judge packs with just alt art heroes. Where like the top end are Marvels. Like the big hit in them is a Marvel. Even a Marvel Young Shiana alt art would go nuts. Hey, this was a massive hit for a while because it's an extremely good card and there's not many in existence. Because it wasn't reprinted in history packs. So the only way to get it is opening crew, which isn't a thing. No one opens crew for EV anymore. Not anymore. I don't think ever. I don't think it was ever a good set to open. I think maybe they're still worth money, actually. Feign Death foil. It's a weird one. Yeah, Farah, it was crazy. Because, again, lists were running them, but then... There's another snag. Yeah, there's nowhere to get them. I imagine it's still worth a little bit of money. It's also quite a strong card. It blocks for 3. Does it say boost? No, it's a boost. It's a chain finisher. But it's how you eat people's tunics, basically. You can force... I'm trying to remember which deck exactly it could force tunic block on. T-Bone Tia, yeah, something like that. It was just nuts. It was great. Which I still think would be a reason it's that's right, it was Lexi. But it wasn't in Lexi. For Lexi, it was to get rid of New Horizon, right? This is the last pack. Wish me luck. Shard? No, no shard. I mean, we got a Majestic, so... that was... I mean, for 6 boxes, we did very well, I think. These are all foils. A whole bunch of equipment. These are some more random rainbow foils that are worth more than $1, I think. Yeah, Colin, that's yeah, you're right. Again, if you're playing Mechanologist, yes, you could force but again, that deck runs Tunic. You can actually you could potentially eat all their armor, which is a massive advantage. So I think you just the first T-Bone or Magnetic you see, you immediately Arsenal, and then the next time you see one or the other, you just go for it. Because, I mean, even just eating 2 pieces of equipment, remember one of them is, what do they play? The boots don't block, and the gloves are face down, cloaked, so they have to spend a card to even turn them over. But again, the gloves don't block either. So you might be onto something. What was I doing? Is that commons? No, that's a pile of rares. Guys, thanks for tuning in. I've got... what did we do today? We did 6 and 12. We did 18 out of 500 boxes, so there's plenty more streams to go. But I'm gonna go sort some cards, put some cards away. Flugenbox.com if you want to get anything. We do ship to the US. It's obviously too late for Nats, but it only takes about a week, maybe 10 days to get to you. And please subscribe because we're very close to the 5K mark, and that's a alpha box giveaway. It's up here in my closet, ready to go. I'll open it on stream and send you all the contents if you win. There's only like 800 entries so far, so it's not 1 in 5,000 either. Not even close. All right, guys. Talk soon.